Haven't you always wondered what the difference is between management and leadership? In a few moments, we're just going to clarify totally for the rest of your life, and it will change your life. Let's sum it up in the following way. Management is about the control and allocation of resources, about things, inanimate objects, such as budget and planning. Leadership is about people. It's human, it's moral, it's relational. It involves communication, engagement, conflict, trust. And both depend upon character, but character becomes immediately evident when we do leadership or fail to do leadership. We're going to go through 4 elements that define the features of management versus leadership. We're going to do it by short demos. Sherlock is here my employee. I'm Holmes, his manager. And we're going to look at 4 elements that will exemplify the difference between treating people as things, which if we're not careful, managers can do, and treating others as moral beings, in which the manager, the leader, carries a moral responsibility to do the highest moral action, as opposed to get quick results. So it begins with the manager role, and the manager wears the hat. And we'll look at the first of 4 features to show the differences between management and leadership. And the first one is about productivity and short-term results. So, Sherlock, I've been looking at your numbers. Man, they're not good, okay? And you got to bring them up, bucko. And if you don't bring them up, you know there will be consequences. You understand that? Okay, I think you get it. Thanks, I'm glad we had this talk. I'm going to go and motivate some other people in the organization who are behind the 8 ball. And I know that Sherlock is going to tell his colleagues that he got the message and he's going to buck up. And let's see what he says to his colleagues.
Well, yeah, he's put the hammer down. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but he's made it perfectly clear. He's been transparent, telling me what he's going to do. And I'm just going to shirk back, and who knows what's going to happen next.
So the leader, Holmes, is now going to have a discussion, an interaction with Sherlock, also about numbers and productivity. Sherlock, how's it going?
Hi, Holmes. It's good to see you again.
Well, the pleasure is always mine. Hey, we're under a lot of pressure, and everyone's looking at numbers. How are you doing?
Well, thanks for asking. It's a difficult time right now. As you know, we all, as the team, have come together around this new product introduction, realize it's important for the company.
Right.
But there's only so much time in the day, and we've got other responsibilities outside of work. And trying to make that balance is a little difficult for us right now.
It's really tough. Now, you and I have discussed before that when I'm under pressure, what I tend to do is sacrifice family. And occasionally, when you're under pressure, you'll complain you don't have enough resources. And I think both things might be going on. We're short on resources, there's no question about that, and I'm in trouble with family. What should we be doing about this? I'm open to your counsel.
I've come to realize with your guidance that paying attention to family is also important. And so I am just really making sure that those things that need to be done with the family and home is taken care of as my first priority. And I appreciate your support on that. What can we do more about that? If everybody, I think, took that same approach, which is make sure that we are in balance between our work and our life, people will be more productive at work. They won't feel quite so stressed and under such anxiety that if you don't get the things done at work, then everybody's going to get kicked out or something like that. So I think it is really important to have that work-life balance.
Sherlock, you made a suggestion last quarter, and I think we ought to do it. What if each member of your team took one day for the next month, one day a week, and you went home early? And we're putting in long hours, and we're working weekend hours now. But, you figure it out with your team, and after they pick their days, you pick your day to go home early as well. I'll try to do the same. And, it's not going to change anything strategically, but it could take some of the pressure off at least one day a week. What do you think of that?
There's things like doctor's appointments and, things that you want to do with the kids after
Right.
school. And when you just can't do that, it doesn't give you that
Yeah.
work-life balance. So even one afternoon a week may not seem like an awful lot, but it really goes a long way.
Great. Well, let's do that.
All right. Very
Thanks
good.
a lot. I appreciate that. The next feature we're going to look at to distinguish management from leadership is authority. Now, doggone it. Sherlock, I'm under a lot of pressure here, okay? And the buck stops with me, and if you are not able to do what I direct and what I require, there are consequences. And you got to understand that the stick around here, and I'm feeling it, you got to do something about that. Okay, I'm glad we have an understanding about this. Get to it, okay? You've already wasted enough time. I think he gets the message.
Well, being pushed because of fearful consequences, I might do something in the short term for that, but it just destroys me. I really don't have any intent or motivation to do anything more than just the minimum under that sort of a situation. And it turns my stomach when I have to come in and talk to Holmes about this stuff.
So Sherlock is under a lot of pressure. We're all under a lot of pressure. I'm feeling the fear of failure, of not hitting reduced time to market. And so as a leader, I have to really discern what's the highest moral action in this instance. Sherlock, how are you doing?
Hi, Holmes. Very good, thank you.
Well, I needed this time in order to figure out what to do. We're really under a time crisis crunch. And everywhere we look, there doesn't appear to be any relief. Now, we instituted the one afternoon early off, really for the whole organization. And we saw a spike in productivity. And then this customer we've always wanted has shown up, and we have this product fulfillment now. You got to tell me how long can we stay in this red line and the tachometer? We're running very, very high revs. So tell me how you and your people are doing, and it'll give me a better indication of what decisions I have to make.
Well, we're very supportive of our new product introduction. We really want the company to be successful, and each of us feels a lot of reward, like this example of the customer coming back to us that maybe we would have never had if everybody's so focused and so pressured. We probably would have met that customer with scowls and, I've got better things to do. But because we had a little bit of flexibility with our time, we were able to reach out to that customer, and that really feels good for all of us.
Yeah, good.
And so that even takes away some of that pressure of overtime or just being driven to short-term results. Really willing to put out that extra effort.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm facing two choices. One is to keep asking people to work extra hours and take the risks at home as a consequence. The second is to go to our new returned customer and ask for time. And they came to us time sensitive, so that's probably the last thing they want to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm really asking, how much more can you and your people take if I don't go to the customer and ask for relief?
I believe that customer will, because we've built a relationship with them.
Okay.
And I think with all of us knowing that those are the trade-offs being made, we'll be supportive of that. It takes a lot of that. It gives us a little bit more flexibility in that.
Okay. I'll be back to you with details on that idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I have to move on now, and Sherlock will share with his colleagues how this conversation with his leader went.
Well, it was very gratifying, because a lot of times the leader just says, you guys buckle up. There's a lot of this new customer coming in, and we told him we were going to just do this in record time, and the rest of us sort of go, oh my gosh, I don't know that we can handle anymore. But here he is, he's offering to help us to be successful. He's setting us up for success instead of setting us up for failure. That counts a lot to me.
So we've done 2 of the features. Here's the third. And the third is on motivation and influence, because managers motivate and influence others. And we'll see what leaders do by contrast. And let's see how motivation and influence work in this pressured environment in which we find ourselves. So I told you, Sherlock, that if we're able to reduce time to market, that there are bonuses in line. And I want to emphasize to you, these are sizable bonuses, much bigger than those that we've used before, because we're really under a lot of pressure. But there's the other side too. And I want to influence you and I want to motivate you that if we come out on the underside of expectations, of fulfillment, the hallway is going to be, the music of rolling heads is going to be the new rock theme in this company. And you don't want to be the leader of that rock band without a head. So I want you to think about the money. I want you to think about the heads. Okay? All right. I think you got it. I think he understands. I think he's really going to be motivated and influenced to do what's expected here. Let's you can hear the buzz after I leave the room.
Well, when somebody threatens me like that, I've got obligations to my home, and if it's my job that they're being threatened, I really believe I need to do what's right for my family. And you know what that's going to do? I'm going to just do some CYA activities, maybe even make some of my coworkers look bad or undermine some of their work, because hey, if it's between that person and me, I'm going to make sure I get taken care of first.
So let's see what a leader can do in this situation where instead of seeking to motivate and influence, which can be done very unethically, can be done by coercion and manipulation and threats, exactly the kind of thing that Americans are not supposed to do. What would inspiration by example look like from a leader? Sherlock, good to see you.
Yes.
So we're under the gun again, and people have to be feeling gaskets coming loose. So I've checked out others in the company, and it looks like what we can do is consider one heavy sprint that goes for, say, another 5 full days, and then everyone takes the full weekend off. And what I'll do is, because we've cut costs everywhere we can, I'm going to be janitorial service, okay? And I'm also going to, because we have to work long hours before the weekend, I'm going to do all the meal service for having to stay here. And for those of us who with kid care issues, the kids, just invite the families to come and eat if that's the right thing. I don't want to feed every mouth in the company, but I'll feed all the mouths that should be fed. Is that going to be okay just to get us through this week?
That helps a lot. It's still going to be hard.
Yeah.
But when we have that kind of support, people will say, we're all in this together. And
Right.
here he is, Holmes is out there leading the way. And that helps us all recognize, even now that we know that there's sort of a short-term sprint, as you say, people can do that. It's when there's no determination when this is ever going to end.
Right.
People just tend to go, I don't know that I can do this.
Right. Yeah, I was telling Mehetibel, my wife, that we should do a company picnic on the weekend, and she said, don't you think, after spending long hours at the office,
Yeah.
that the one thing they want to do is kind of be with their families and not with the company? So Mehetibel saved us from creating an invisible workday
Yeah.
on the weekend in the guise of a party.
Well, let's not toss out that idea of a company picnic. Now it may not be the right time. Maybe 3 months down the road, when
Yeah.
things are more settled, and we've done the sprint and we've caught our breath,
Yeah.
I think it is still very good to celebrate our
Yeah,
successes.
that makes sense, Sherlock. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Appreciate it. So our last feature is about purpose. Okay, so let's look at the purpose of the manager who treats people like things. We can see it in human resources. Resources are things, humans are people, and we now call the relationship with people from the employer standpoint, we call it human resources, human things. It's inconsistent and it confuses us. But now that we see what leaders should do, by contrast, we're going to have a clear path of doing the right thing. All right, so the manager comes to Sherlock and says, Sherlock, sometimes you confuse me, okay? Because, you know, the purpose for being here is to make money. That's it. I'm not here for jollies. I'm not here for health. I'm here to make money. And sometimes I look at you and how you treat your people, and it's like, this is Club Med. This is like, it's a pleasure cruise or something. You're trying to take care of people. I want results, not people. Now, I don't have to tell you this again. And, you know, I'm probably not going to tell you this again. Because if we have to have this conversation again, and I have to remind you of our purpose, which is to make money, then, you know, there's something fundamentally wrong with you. Okay? I'm glad we got this straightened out. Now, I can tell by your face that, you know, you're not real happy with this. I'm not real happy with this. Get over it. Here's the leader in the same situation. How's it going, Sherlock?
It's going okay. You
Is
know,
it
we've
really?
got some up and downs, and we've got some things that we're working on. Thanks for asking, though.
Yeah. You know, I made a pledge to you and everyone in the company that we would really be aligned with our company values. And even under pressure, we'd focus on doing the highest moral action, and we'd focus on developing each other so that we're people who do the right action. And I sent you an email and all hands asking everyone to rate me for doing the right thing under this time of pressure. You know, I got some pretty low numbers back from some. And, you know, it's all anonymous, and so I don't need to know where you scored me. But I need you to tell me how I'm doing as a leader in developing others in a time of stress and crisis.
Well, I'll be really very straightforward with you. I notice that when you feel stressed, you kind of pass that down the line. And your stress
Right.
comes to mine, we start concentrating on the numbers, we kind of lose sight of we're people. We're
Right.
people that have other things and other interests, and there's a relationship among our coworkers. And that doesn't get honored when you're kind of beating us to get the immediate results. And then likewise, when we recognize that you're under a lot of pressure and you still allow us to be treated as people, we see that difference. And I would just, maybe we could use this time that we have together for me to say, you know, last Wednesday you were really a bear at that staff meeting.
yeah.
And the rest of us felt that. And if you could just tone that down a little bit and really emphasize our value as contributors to the company's success.
Yeah. Sherlock, thank you very much. And let me apologize. I'm very sorry I was the bear. Is this something that you think I should handle next Wednesday at staff? Or, I know what my conscience is telling me. I need to go to all the directors and apologize for Wednesday. I need to do that now. So thank you for that feedback. It triggered my conscience towards highest moral action. And I will be very watchful of my submitting to fear and pressure and then spreading the virus to the rest of the organization. You are such a help to me, and I'm very proud of how you keep me aligned with what we said we would be. Thank you, Sherlock.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. So let's sum up, shall we? The manager drives for results and treats others under pressure, particularly, as things. Seeks to motivate and influence using bribery and threats. Is not cognizant of what is the highest moral action. The leader is guided by what is highest moral action and seeks to embody that in every thought, in every communication, in every action, and in every decision. This is really tough. On the other hand, failing to do so, defaulting to management and control and treating people as things, while it's easier in the moment, really invites long-range failure. Your best people will leave after being dispirited, and the best people outside will not seek to be alongside you. So doing the highest moral action looks like it's hard, and leadership looks tougher than management because it requires a great deal from inside the chest. But ultimately, it is the easier path because it's the more productive one, and it's the one that brings success, contentment, and a sense of genuine accomplishment. Thank you very much for considering the difference between management and leadership.